Duke de Janeries, Willie Mullins. Real Steel, another one for Willie. Here comes Charger for Willie, took a fall last time out when going so well. Main danger to Samcro today. Big ride for Jack Kennedy here aboard Samcro. Massive opportunity to shine. He's such a beautiful horse, big, powerful, strong and scopy. This horse will win.
Good evening everyone, it's the Racing Blogger here, kicking off with day 2 of the Cheltenham Festival. We're going to go through the big races just like I did for day 1. I think we covered the Supreme, the Arkle and the Champion Chase and the Mare's Hurdle, Apples Jade. How do you like those apples? I hope you enjoyed those videos and hopefully we all have a fantastic Cheltenham Festival. If you did enjoy them, make sure to share them on Twitter, leave me a comment, much appreciated. Now we're going to kick off with Cheltenham day 2 and we kick off with arguably the biggest talking horse of the year. Super Samcro, the rocket, the aeroplane, whatever you want to call him. He's got people talking and he's quite a special horse. Let's run through the betting, but before we do that, here's Samcro when I got to see him at the Dublin Racing Festival.
Crowd are building here to see Samcro, and here he is. He is beautiful, big, powerful, gorgeous horse.
And it's off at 10 to 2.
Real Steel, really small compared to Samcro. He is gorgeous. Go on the aeroplane. Crowd can't wait to see this horse run today.
Right, the current betting for the Ballymore at Cheltenham. It's a novice hurdler, grade 1. 10 hurdles will be jumped and it kicks off at 1:30. God knows what the ground's going to be like because Beast from the East has really messed up the end of February and the beginning of March. Anyway, Samcro's a top price 5 to 4 at the moment, 5 to 4 on, 1.8. Next destination for Willie Mullins, 6 to 1. On the blind side, a little bit of 6s available for Nicky. And we've got Black Op for Tom George, 16 to 1. Vindication, Kim Bailey, apparently he won't run. He's a 20 to 1 shot. And then the list kind of goes on to all the kind of outsiders. But we're going to focus on the main protagonists here because it really does look between the top 4 in the betting to me. And let's talk about how special Super Samcro is at this stage. So, arguably, potentially the most exciting horse in Gordon Elliott's yard at the moment is Samcro. He's a horse who Michael O'Leary bought out of a point-to-point for £335,000 or euros, whatever you want to call it. And arguably, he's been super impressive from day 1. He won 3 bumpers back-to-back in Ireland, went over to Punchestown first time out in a maiden hurdle and absolutely destroyed Mind's Eye of Henry de Bromhead's. Now that was an eye-catching performance that day and it kind of signalled that Samcro was going to be a really decent horse. Mind's Eye himself has gone on to win a novice hurdle and a handicap off of 125s, now rated 133. Samcro battered him 15 lengths that day on the bridle, so it was quite impressive. Next time up, it was a step up in grade for Samcro. Went over to Navan for a 2.5 mile grade 3 hurdle, the Monksfields, and took on Jets for Jessica Harrington. Now, again, he jumped with ease. He travelled into the race. He ultimately won very, very stylishly, and it signalled that this really is going to be an absolute superstar over hurdles. Jets himself, who finished second that day, was beaten 12 lengths, is no mug. He was beaten 7 lengths in a grade 2 by Next Destination, beaten 8 lengths by Next Destination in a grade 1, and then just got touched off in a grade 1 at Leopardstown for the Dublin Racing Festival, where you had Tower Bridge, who just beat him, Carter Mackay, Dortmund Park, all of those horses were in behind. So the way that Samcro completely battered Jets really does signal to me that we're looking at a genuine superstar here. After that, it was the big test. You know, he went to Leopardstown for the Dublin Racing Festival. He went off a red-hot favourite at 6 to 4 on. I was over in Dublin at that time and I hammered onto him. I had one of my biggest bets of the year, £800. I managed to get 8 to 11 on track, 8 to 11 on, 1.71. And he just absolutely travelled through the race like a dream. Nothing could get him off the bridle. Nothing could go with him up the home straight. I mean, Paloma Blue tried to go with him, and Paloma Blue effectively, come the jumping the last, had nothing left at all. He's got this ability to quicken and quicken again, and I think he goes into the Ballymore holding a simply outstanding chance. I think we could be seeing the future of National Hunt Racing here, and I very much hope that he gets day 2 off to a banger for all of us punters. Is there any value in his price? Well, I think at 5 to 4 on at this stage, 1.8, there's a lot of value in that price because I can easily see him going off at 8 to 13 on the day. Samcro is a horse who has a massive frame. He's going to be a hell of a chaser. As you know, with all of Michael O'Leary's horses, they're bought for one reason. They're bought to ultimately go chasing, and this could be the final season we see him over hurdles. But is he a Cheltenham banker? Well, we'll talk about that at the end of the video. Let me know what you think about the Rocket, the aeroplane, Super Samcro. So, pretty much your joint second favourite is Next Destination for Willie Mullins. He's pretty much the same price as On the Blind Side. The two of them are battling for second position behind Samcro. Let's talk about Next Destination here. Trained by Willie Mullins, owned by Malcolm Denmark. He's sired by Dubai Destination, quite unusual, but started off by winning a point-to-point, came out to Ferryhouse and won a bumper, was fourth at the Cheltenham Festival behind Fayona, a good run. Next time out on good ground at Punchestown, he got beat at odds on, and he didn't seem to have a turn of foot. Now, this year, he's gone novice hurdling and he's won 3 times over 2.5 miles. On all 3 occasions, the ground has been soft to heavy and heavy. I would genuinely be worried about Next Destination's ability to handle faster ground from what we've seen. His jumping at times is a little bit skew-whiffed, it's a little bit novice-y, and under pressure, if he gets under pressure on faster ground, I think he could be potentially exposed. He won a novice hurdle at Naas, stepped up in grade to go to Navan. He won a grade 2 there, beating Cracking Smart and Jets, who was back in 3rd place by 7 3/4 lengths. Jets is obviously, you know, we talked about his form line with Samcro. He's a decent horse. And this was a really good run by Next Destination. He signalled he's a high-class horse. He loves soft ground and he stays extremely well. Cracking Smart's obviously no mug whatsoever. Next time up, he went back to Naas, over 2.5 miles again. It was a grade 1 race, heavy ground, and he beat Cracking Smart again with Jets back in 4th again. So it's kind of the same horses, the same form line. This time he was nowhere near as impressive. He was all out pretty much towards the end to beat Cracking Smart by a length. And the horse who was in 3rd, Willie's horse called Duke des Genevièves, has subsequently finished 2nd to Super Samcro, ultimately beaten very, very easily. One thing Next Destination does is he stays very well, but in my opinion, if the ground's riding good to soft, which it's likely to be, hopefully, so the best horses win, I think he could be done for toe. I think he's a better horse on softer ground, and I think he could be caught out for pace at the end of the race. Obviously a really nice horse. We've yet to see the best of him. He's going to be a hell of a 3-mile chaser in time. Do I think he's good enough to beat Samcro on everything we've seen so far? Absolutely not. What do you think? So your current co-second, third fab is On the Blind Side, trained by Nicky Henderson. He's around the 11-2 mark in general. He's a real lovely 6-year-old, big scopy horse, as you can imagine most of Nicky's really are. He's rated 153, and he's already a course and distance winner at Cheltenham, which I personally love because Cheltenham's quite a unique track, and to have course form there, in my opinion, is invaluable. On the Blind Side, a 6-year-old who won a point-to-point. First time up, he went to Aintree over 2.5 miles. Got up in the last few strides to beat another stowaway, II Charlie back in 3rd, and the horse back in 5th, Global Citizen, who subsequently absolutely hacked up at Kempton for Betdaq's Day there. So the form of that race is pretty decent. Next time up, he went to Cheltenham. I had a tip for this day. I couldn't see him winning, judged by what we saw at Aintree. And he didn't look like winning until he jumped the last. He absolutely powered up the Cheltenham hill like a resolute stayer. At no stage of that race, it was the Ballymore Novices hurdle, did he look like winning. You had Vision de Floss beaten 25 lengths back in 4th. Calais Mad ran no race that day, and Momella. But he won pretty impressively in the end. He must have been a huge price in running. He went to Sandown for the Ballymore. It was a grade 2, and we kind of saw this day that the horse had really, really improved, and there was a hell of a gamble on him. I think I remember getting 2-1 in the morning, and he went off at 6-5, 2.2. He basically destroyed Springtown Lake. Now, while Springtown Lake is no star, I don't think he's any mug whatsoever. He's gone on to finish 3rd in the listed race, and then he was 12-1 on for a 2-runner race, which is no form really. But he beat a decent horse, he gave him £5, and he beat him very, very well. He's a course and distance winner. Quite obviously, he goes to Cheltenham with every chance, and I couldn't put you off backing him each way. Nicky will have the horse trained to the minute. He's an absolute master. He's got course form. He's won on good to soft, which is likely to be riding on the day. There's not a lot I can say. I know there's a lot of confidence behind the horse. Does he give me the same buzz, the same vibe as Samcro? No, absolutely not. Samcro's got speed over 2 miles and 2.5 miles. On the Blind Side, to me, is a resolute stayer. He looks a 3-mile chaser in time. And again, I just think it's a simple case of Samcro tracking the leaders Quickening Clear, jumping the last. To talk about in here is Black Op for Tom George, top price 16-1 at the moment. A lot of people have been talking him up. He's a point-to-point winner. He won a bumper at Doncaster, beating claim-taking Forgan. That was a decent event that day. It was on good ground. Went to Aintree for the bumper, was 9th behind Lahore. Favourite that day, a bit disappointing. First time up this year, went to Newbury, took on Lost in Translation and a few others, only finished 4th. Tom's horses weren't running that well then. I'd scrubbed that race out of my mind. Given a little bit of a break until the 9th of January, came back and won a 2-mile 5 race. Significantly stepped up in trip and he won very, very easily. Beat horses like Aaron Ladd and Colonial Dreams. You know, these are kind of 120 raced horses. So, you know, you'd really expect him to do exactly what he'd done that day. And then next time up on the 27th of January, the Cheltenham Trials Day, he raced over 2.5 miles against Santini. The two of them had an almighty scrap all the way up the running, and Santini only just got on top towards the end. I think that's very solid form. I think that's very good form. Obviously, Santini, he's beat Chef's Oboe himself very comfortably, and he's a high-class horse. Again, my question mark here would be, how would Black Op fare if the ground's genuinely riding good to soft? At times his jumping's been a little bit scruffy. He does have Cheltenham course form. I couldn't put you off backing him. He's definitely an each way play for those of you that fancy him. And you know, there's not a lot else I can say about him. Do I think he has the gears of Samcro again? No, I don't. Do I think he's as good as Next Destination? Potentially not. But if one or two of them, the top market protagonists, you know, don't run their races at 16-1, he could definitely be nicking a place. Now, the simple fact about this race is Samcro is obviously the outstanding contender, and I'm going to give my back in the race, and I think by this stage you already know the selection is Super Samcro. If we can still get 5-4 on the day, 1.8, I'll be piling in. I think he's going to go off shorter. I think the Irish are going to absolutely batter into him. I know the English lads I've all spoken to have made him the banker of the festival. And there's something special about this horse. He just kind of has this spark that great athletes have. I remember seeing him at Leopardstown. He was strutting his stuff around the parade ring. I eyeballed him. He turned his head and looked at me, and he fucking knew he was just a brilliant horse. He's just got that star appeal. I think Samcro's going to be so tough to beat. I don't think there's a lay in the race. I wouldn't want to be laying anything. I think the obvious naughty each way bet is on the blind side. You know, what are we going to get here? We're going to get a quarter of the odds, first 3 places. Potentially on the day, some firms might do 4 places each way. You never know. But on the blind side at 11-2 each way, you think you'd pretty much be guaranteed to get into the places. But for me, it's all about Super Samcro. I want to see Jack Kennedy coming up to the last, holding on to a double handful. Here comes Super Samcro. Oh, he pings the last. He rockets clear. The aeroplane is home. That's what I want to see. I want to see Michael O'Leary in the winner's enclosure with Gordon Elliott. All of us holding a pint of Guinness, cheering Samcro and kicking on to the next at Cheltenham. What we're going to talk about right now. Let me know what your best bet in the race is. Are you laying Samcro? And check out what this guy said to me at Leopardstown. Oh, mate, you're going to pay for this one. This man has said Samcro does not win at the Cheltenham Festival.
Lee.
Are you serious?
Lee all day.
Why?
No good. Trainer's no good. Horse no good. Samcro wins. Samcro wins.
Look out for this man at Cheltenham. He said lay Samcro. Get it on.
Lee all day.
Right, I backed Samcro here, got 5-4 on, had to do it. He looks amazing in the parade ring, just walked around with this big, powerful aura about him. I'm hoping we see a genuine superstar here at Leopardstown. Going down the back straight, Samcro jumped that impeccably, absolutely spring-heeled, cruising along at this stage. Race is going to hot up soon. Here we go, he's swinging into the bend, he's still on the bridle. Go on the aeroplane. He's cruising, wow, he's absolutely cruising. He's a tank. Oh, go on, you good thing. Oh, this is impressive. This is so impressive. He's destroyed his field. Absolute fucking rocket.
Well done, Blogger.
Get in, you good thing.
Get some anonymity here.
Absolutely.